Zaxclor slammed his three-fingered hand on the desk, causing his assistant to jump. The holographic reports floating before him showed nothing but bad news. Another cargo ship lost. The fifth one this month. The board meeting starts in 20 minutes, his assistant Miklar said nervously. They will want answers. Zaxclor's skin changed from its normal blue to a worried purple. As CEO of the Galactic Trade Consortium, he was responsible for the profits and safety of thousands of ships that moved goods across the stars. But lately, the Void Serpent pirates were making his job impossible. Show me the security budget again, he said. Miklar brought up new displays. We've already tripled spending on drone escorts. The latest models have improved weapons and better shields. But the pirates still get through, Zaxclor finished. He stood and walked to the viewport. The massive space station that served as the company's headquarters orbited a gas giant with beautiful rings. The view usually calmed him, but not today. His communication panel beeped. Yes. Sir, Security Advisor Vrental wishes to speak with you urgently, the voice announced. Send him in. Vrental was tall even for his Centauri, with gray skin and large eyes that never blinked. He entered carrying his own set of reports. I have reviewed all pirate attacks from the past standard year, Vrental said. I believe I have a solution, though you may find it unusual. At this point, I'm open to anything, Zaxclor said. Vrental looked around as if checking for eavesdroppers, then leaned closer. Humans. Zaxclor stared at his security advisor. Humans. From Earth? Are you serious? Completely serious. You want to hire beings from a death world. Creatures that evolved as persistence predators. Beings that actually enjoy danger. Zaxclor's skin now turned a bright orange of alarm. The insurance costs, alone would be less than what we're losing to pirates. Vrental interrupted. Look at this data. New charts appeared in the air between them. Humans have a 94% success rate against pirates in their own systems. No other species comes close. Zaxclor studied the numbers. They were impressive, but humans are unpredictable. Their behavior doesn't follow logical patterns. How could we possibly manage them? We don't need to manage them. We need them to do what they do best. Protect our ships using methods pirates won't expect. A notification appeared, warning of the upcoming board meeting. Zaxclor had only minutes to decide. What about our crew's safety regulations? Humans require different environments, different food. They're stronger than most of our workers. There could be accidents. Vrental nodded. All true. But consider this. What will the board say when you tell them 5 more ships have been lost? How many more attacks before they replace you? Zaxclor knew Vrental was right. After 6 cycles as CEO, his position was now in danger. Sometimes survival required risk. Make the arrangements, he said finally. But start small. 1 human team, 1 ship, and keep it quiet until we see results. 3 hours later, after a difficult board meeting, where several members called for his removal, Zaxclor signed the authorization. The Human Resources Department immediately sent back a message of confusion and concern. Sir, the department head wrote, did you mean to authorize hiring humans? Actual humans. From Earth. Yes, he replied simply. The response came quickly. We'll need to draft new safety protocols, install different life support systems, and create dietary accommodations. And the legal waivers will be enormous. Do whatever is necessary, Zaxclor ordered. That evening, as news of the decision spread through the company, Zaxclor's inbox filled with messages from concerned executives and shareholders. The most common question was some variation of, you hired humans. Are you insane? Perhaps he was. But as Zaxclor looked at the latest report of another ship lost to pirates, he knew insanity might be exactly what the situation required. Sometimes you needed to fight fire with fire, or in this case, fight pirates with predators. The docking bay fell silent as the human transport ship connected to the station. Zaxclor stood with Vrental and a small welcoming party, all shifting nervously. Medical staff waited nearby, ready for emergencies. Remember, Vrental whispered to the group, no sudden movements. Humans can be startled easily, and they react with surprising speed. The airlock hissed open. A figure stepped through, and the aliens collectively took a step back. Kate Vance was taller than they expected, standing straight in the lower gravity with a confidence that made several staff members uncomfortable. Her dark hair was pulled back tightly, and her eyes scanned the room with an intensity that reminded Zaxclor of hunting animals he had seen in nature documentaries. "CEO Zaxclor," she asked, stepping forward and extending her hand. "Kate Vance, security specialist. Thank you for the opportunity." Zaxclor hesitated before carefully shaking her hand, mindful of what the briefing documents had warned about human strength. 4 more humans emerged behind her. "My team," Kate said. Alan Reeves, weapons expert. Darius Powell, tech specialist. Sophia Martinez, tactical operations. And Nathan Winters, our medic. The humans stood in a loose formation that somehow seemed both casual and alert. Alan was examining the security drones with clear interest. Darius was already typing something into a small device. Sophia stood perfectly still, but her eyes never stopped moving. Nathan smiled warmly at the medical staff, who blinked in confusion at this facial expression. "We've prepared quarters for you," Zaxclor said. "Our environmental engineers have adjusted the temperature, gravity, and atmosphere to Earth standards." "Much appreciated," Kate replied. "But we'd like to see your security operations center first, if possible. Time matters when dealing with pirates." Vrental stepped forward. "I'm afraid that requires special clearance. There are procedures." "Of course," Kate interrupted smoothly. "We understand procedures, but we can't help if we don't know what we're working with." Her direct approach startled Zaxclor. In his culture, new employees would spend days in orientation before even discussing actual work. "Perhaps tomorrow," he suggested, "after you've rested and completed the proper documentation." Kate nodded politely. "As you wish. We'll get settled in." As they were escorted to their quarters, Zaxclor noticed how the station staff moved aside, watching the humans with mixed fear and curiosity. They moved strangely. One technician whispered to another. So quick and purposeful. Later that evening, Zaxclor received an urgent message from Vrental. "You need to come to the security center immediately." When he arrived, he found Kate Vance sitting at the main console, surrounded by displays showing ship routes, cargo manifests, and pirate attack records. The other humans were at different stations, working intensely. "How did you get access?" Zaxclor demanded. "This area requires Level 1 security clearance." Darius looked up from his screen. "Your systems were designed to keep out people who follow rules. Pirates don't follow rules. Neither do we sometimes. You hacked our security." Zaxclor's skin turned bright orange with alarm. "We used creative problem-solving," Kate corrected. "And it's good we did. Look at this." She pointed to a pattern on the display that Zaxclor had never noticed before. "The pirates aren't just randomly hitting ships. They know exactly which vessels carry the most valuable cargo. You have an information leak." Sophia spoke up from her station. "Possibly someone inside your company is working with them." "That's impossible," Zaxclor protested. "Our employees undergo extensive loyalty screening." "Yet here we are," Kate said simply, gesturing to the evidence on the screen. Alan, who had been quiet until now, joined the conversation. "We've been here 6 hours and found this. Imagine what the pirates have learned in months." Zaxclor stared at the displays, then at the 5 humans who had accomplished more in less than a day than his security team had in weeks. Perhaps he had been right to make this desperate gamble. "I want a full report by morning," he said, "and a plan. No more ships will be lost to these pirates." As he turned to leave, he heard Nathan say quietly to Kate, "I told you they'd come around. They may look different, But a boss is a boss in any galaxy. The humans laughed together, a sound that made the alien security staff exchange nervous glances. These humans were strange indeed, but Zaxclor was beginning to think that strange might be exactly what they needed. The meeting room fell silent as Kate finished presenting her plan. The alien executives stared at her with expressions that ranged from shock to horror. Zaxclor's skin had shifted to a deep purple, which the humans had learned indicated extreme stress. "Let me be sure I understand," said Board Director Pelvor, his voice higher than usual. "You want to deliberately attract the pirates, to fight them directly." "Exactly," Kate replied, pointing to the holographic display. "Pirates hit ships they think are easy targets, so we give them one, except it won't be easy at all." Darius stepped forward. "We'll take one of your standard cargo vessels and modify it. Hidden weapons, reinforced hull sections, specialized defense systems. A trap," Alan added with a slight smile that made several aliens shift uncomfortably in their seats. "This is not how security works in civilized space," protested another board member. "We avoid confrontation. We use stealth and evasion tactics." "And how's that working for you?" Sophia asked. She stood with her arms crossed, her stance relaxed but somehow intimidating. 5 ships lost last month alone." Nathan, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. "Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. It's a human saying, but it's true. These pirates keep attacking because there's no cost to them. We need to change that equation." Zaxclor looked around at his board members. Most were shaking their heads or displaying signs of disapproval, but they also had no better solutions to offer. "What are the risks?" he finally asked. "Substantial," Kate admitted honestly. "We'll be deliberately engaging dangerous criminals. There could be damage to the ship, possible injuries." This candid assessment seemed to surprise the aliens, who were used to security firms promising perfect solutions with no downsides. But Kate continued, "The potential reward is ending the pirate threat permanently, not just avoiding them, stopping them." After much debate, Zaxclor made his decision. "Proceed with the modifications, but I want regular updates, and I reserve the right to cancel this operation at any time." Over the next few days, the station buzzed with activity and rumors. Alien workers watched in fascination as the humans transformed a standard cargo vessel. They worked longer hours than any species on the station, taking only brief breaks. "They don't stop to rest properly," one engineer commented to another. "And have you seen what they drink? That black liquid they call coffee. I analyzed it. It's a stimulant poison." "Everything about them is strange," his colleague replied. "Yesterday I saw Sophia and Alan in the recreation area, hitting each other repeatedly." "Fighting?" "No, they called it sparring. Said it was for staying sharp. They seemed to enjoy it." The most confusing thing to the aliens was how the humans operated as a team. They disagreed openly, sometimes loudly, yet emerged with better solutions because of these conflicts. This was the opposite of how the harmonious alien cultures functioned. When the ship modifications were nearly complete, Zaxclor visited for inspection. He found Kate in what had been a standard cargo hold, now transformed into what she called a combat control center. "Are those weapon stations?" he asked, pointing to newly installed consoles. "Yes," Kate replied, "but hidden from external scans. From the outside, this looks like any other cargo vessel. Only when the pirates board will they discover the difference. And if they don't board, if they simply attack from a distance." Darius grinned, a human expression that still unsettled Zaxclor. "We've thought of that too. The ship's hull is reinforced, and we've added some surprises to the exterior." Alan demonstrated a panel that looked like standard hull plating but concealed a weapon port. "The element of surprise is our advantage." As Zaxclor left the ship, he passed Nathan stocking what appeared to be a medical bay with supplies. "Preparing for injuries?" he asked. "Always prepare for the worst," Nathan replied. Then work to ensure it doesn't happen. This philosophy summed up the humans' approach perfectly, Zaxclor thought. Prepare for danger rather than avoid it. Face threats directly. It was terrifying, alien thinking, but perhaps exactly what they needed against enemies who showed no mercy. The cargo ship Lucky Venture drifted through space, following a route that had been hit by pirates 3 times in the past month. From the outside, it looked like an ordinary transport carrying valuable minerals from the outer colonies. Inside, it was anything but ordinary. Proximity alert. Darius called from his console, hidden beneath what appeared to be standard shipping containers. Ship approaching from Sector 7. Kate nodded. She sat in a command chair disguised as cargo equipment. Around her, the human team readied themselves while the small alien crew looked increasingly nervous. Remember your training, Kate told the aliens. When the pirates arrive, follow the plan. Stay in the safe zones we marked. The alien pilot, Trelvax, trembled slightly. I've never been in combat before. None of us have. You won't be in combat, Alan assured him, checking his weapon. We will. Your job is to stay safe and help us monitor systems. Sophia moved to a viewing port and studied the approaching ship, classic pirate formation. They're positioning to disable our engines first. The first hit rocked the ship. The aliens cried out in alarm, but the humans remained calm, almost eerily so. Engines down, Darius reported, just as we planned. Now we send the distress call, Kate ordered. Make it sound desperate. A young alien communications officer sent the message, his voice shaking with genuine fear. Perfect. Minutes later, they felt the bump of the pirate ship attaching to their hull. Then came the sound of cutting tools working through the outer door. They're coming through the main cargo bay, Kate said. Position 3, everyone. The humans moved with practiced precision, taking positions that gave them clear lines of fire, but kept them hidden from immediate view. The aliens retreated to the protected control room as instructed. The cargo bay doors slid open. 6 figures entered, the Drakval pirates. They were tall, reptilian beings with scaled skin and eyes that glowed faintly in the dim lighting. They carried advanced weapons and moved with confident swagger. Check for crew, ordered their leader in the common galactic language. Secure the cargo. As the pirates spread out, they triggered the first trap. Hidden sensors detected their movement, and suddenly compartments opened in the walls. Small drones flew out, creating confusion. Now, Kate shouted. The humans emerged from hiding, weapons ready. The pirates, surprised, still responded quickly. Energy weapons fired, creating chaos in the cargo bay. Alan took a hit to his shoulder, but kept firing. Sophia moved with incredible speed, flanking 2 pirates who were trying to retreat. Darius controlled the ship's systems remotely, sealing doors to prevent escape. The battle was going according to plan until 3 more pirates entered from a secondary breach point. They have more forces than intelligence suggested, Kate called out, diving behind a container as energy bolts flew past her. Nathan, Alan is hit. Nathan moved toward the injured man, somehow avoiding enemy fire with quick, unpredictable movements. The pirates, now recovering from their surprise, began using organized tactics. They had superior numbers and weapons. The humans found themselves retreating toward the engine room. This isn't working, Sophia said as they regrouped behind heavy doors. We need a new plan. Kate looked around the engine room, thinking quickly. Darius, can you access the environmental controls from here? Already on it, he replied, fingers flying over his device. What do you need? Gravity fluctuations in the cargo bay. And cut off their communications. From the monitoring station, Zaxclor watched the feed with growing alarm. The plan was failing. His security advisor was already preparing to send the emergency rescue team. But then something unexpected happened. The humans, despite being outnumbered and forced to retreat, didn't surrender. Instead, they adapted. The ship's gravity began cycling in the areas where pirates were positioned, throwing them off balance. Smoke filled corridors, confusing their sensors. And most surprising, the humans split up rather than staying together for safety. "What are they doing?" Vrental asked, watching the monitors. "This is madness. They should be surrendering to save their lives." "I don't think humans think that way," Zaxclor replied, watching in fascination as Kate executed what appeared to be an entirely new strategy created in the moment. Within 20 minutes, the situation had reversed. 3 pirates were captured, the rest retreating to their ship. Before they detached, Sophia managed to plant a tiny device on their hull, a tracker. As the pirate ship fled, the humans gathered in the control room, treating wounds and already discussing improvements to their tactics. The aliens stared at them in shocked silence. This wasn't just random piracy, it was corporate sabotage on a galactic scale. "We need to gather more evidence," Darius said, continuing to record data as they completed their circuit of the station. What they didn't notice was the small security drone that had detached from the station and was now following their ship at a distance, recording their every move. Kate's team returned to find a consortium headquarters in chaos. During their absence, a major pirate force had attacked the main station. Alarms blared throughout the corridors. Medical teams rushed past with injured staff. "What happened?" Kate demanded, grabbing a passing security officer. 3 pirate ships," the officer replied, his skin pale with stress. "They hit us directly. Took hostages." Kate's team exchanged worried glances. This was a major escalation. They found Zaxclor in the emergency command center, surrounded by panicked executives. When he saw the humans, his expression showed both relief and anger. "They knew we were tracking them," he said accusingly. "Somehow they knew." "Who did they take?" Kate asked, cutting to the critical information. "Chief Operations Officer Jinlek and 6 department heads," Vrental answered. "They sent a message. They want all shipping data for the next 3 cycles and 20 million credits." The board members were arguing loudly about how to proceed. Most favored immediate compliance with the pirates' demands. "We have insurance for situations like this," one director was saying. "Standard procedure is to pay the ransom and—" "No," Kate interrupted firmly. "If you pay, they'll just come back for more. And next time, they'll take more hostages." The room fell silent as all the aliens turned to look at her. "What do you suggest?" Zaxclor asked quietly. "A rescue operation," Sophia said, already studying the station's security feeds. The idea shocked the aliens. Rescue operations were not part of their security protocols. The standard procedure throughout civilized space was negotiation and payment. "Impossible," declared Director Pelvor. "We don't even know where they've taken the hostages." "Actually, we do," Darius said, connecting his device to the main display. "The tracker we planted is still active. They've returned to their base." Kate outlined a plan that made the aliens increasingly uncomfortable. The humans would take a small, fast ship to the pirate base. Using the detailed scans they had already collected, they would infiltrate the station, locate the hostages, and bring them home. "This is madness," one board member protested. "You're just 5 humans against an entire pirate operation." "5 humans is plenty," Alan said with a confidence that bewildered the aliens. After hours of debate, Zaxclor made the decision. "Do it," he told Kate, "but I'm coming with you." This caused another uproar, but the CEO was firm. "Jinlek is not just my operations officer. He's my friend. I won't sit safely here while others risk their lives." The rescue team departed 4 hours later in a modified scout ship. Besides the 5 humans and Zaxclor, 3 volunteer alien crew members joined, including Vrental. As they approached the pirate base, Kate briefed everyone on their roles. "Our advantage is that pirates don't expect anyone to attack them. They're predators, not defenders. Like most bullies," Nathan added, "they don't handle resistance well." The plan relied heavily on stealth and misdirection. Darius had created a virus that would temporarily disable the station's internal sensors. Sophia had prepared specialized equipment for moving through maintenance tunnels too small for the larger Drakval pirates. Remember, Kate told the alien volunteers, stay close to your assigned human partner. Do exactly what they tell you. This isn't like your security training. The infiltration began smoothly. They docked at an unused maintenance port and entered the station without detection. Using Darius's scans, they navigated toward the section where the hostages were most likely held. Then everything went wrong. An alarm sounded. Emergency doors began closing throughout the station. They'd spotted us, Sophia reported, checking her scanner. Security teams converging from 3 directions. Zaxclor looked at Kate, expecting her to call for retreat. Instead, she smiled, a human expression he now recognized as indicating not happiness but determination. Plan B, everyone, she announced calmly. Darius, time for your special project. Darius pulled a small device from his pack and activated it. Throughout the station, systems began failing in seemingly random patterns. What is that? Vrental asked, amazed. Chaos generator, Darius replied. Creates cascading system failures. Very unpredictable. Is this normal for humans? Trelvax finally asked. To fight like this? To not give up? Kate shrugged, wincing slightly from a burn on her arm. Pretty much. We're stubborn that way. News of the encounter with the pirates spread quickly through the Galactic Trade Consortium. Zaxclor could barely keep up with the messages flooding his communication system. Half the board wanted to terminate the human contract immediately. The other half wanted to hire more humans. The damage to the ship was extensive, complained Director Pelvor during an emergency meeting. The repair costs alone will eat into our profits for the quarter. But it's the first ship that actually survived a pirate attack, countered another director. And we captured 3 pirates for questioning. Kate and her team stood at the back of the meeting room, bandaged but attentive. Alan's arm was in a sling, but he refused the more extensive medical treatments the alien doctors had offered. The mission was partially successful, Kate said when asked to report. We confirmed our suspicions about the pirates' tactics, and more importantly, we planted a tracking device on their ship. This revelation caused immediate uproar. You did what? Zaxclor asked, his skin cycling through several colors rapidly. Darius stepped forward, activating a holographic display from his device. A blinking dot moved across a star map. We're tracking them in real time, he explained. They've returned to what appears to be their base of operations, an abandoned mining station in the Krell sector. The aliens stared at the display in shock. No one had ever managed to track the pirates to their home base before. This is beyond your contract, Zaxclor said firmly. You were hired for defense, not to pursue pirates across the galaxy. In human security thinking, the best defense is eliminating the threat at its source, Kate replied calmly. These pirates will keep coming back, with more ships and better weapons next time. They now know you're fighting back. Sophia nodded in agreement. They won't underestimate us again. We need to act while we have the advantage of surprise. The board erupted in debate. The idea of taking offensive action against pirates was shocking to most of the alien executives, whose species had evolved to avoid direct confrontation whenever possible. This is not how civilized beings conduct business, one director protested. Perhaps that's why pirates keep targeting your ships, Nathan observed quietly. They know you won't fight back in any meaningful way. After hours of heated discussion, a compromise was reached. The humans would be allowed to lead a small operation to gather intelligence on the pirate base, but were explicitly forbidden from engaging in combat unless absolutely necessary for self-defense. Reconnaissance only, Zaxclor emphasized, looking directly at Kate. I want your word. You have it, she replied, though something in her expression made him uneasy. 3 days later, a small, fast scout ship approached the abandoned mining station in the Krell sector. Kate, Sophia, and Darius were aboard, along with 2 alien crew members who had volunteered despite the dangers. Approaching sensor range, reported the alien pilot, Mikval. Should I hang back? No, Kate decided. Let's pose as salvagers interested in the abandoned station. That should get us close enough for detailed scans. The ruse worked. They were allowed to approach the station, which appeared to be only lightly defended on the surface. But Darius's specialized scanning equipment told a different story. There's a lot of activity inside, he reported, and advanced equipment that doesn't match what you'd expect in an old mining operation. As they circled the station, apparently evaluating it for salvage value, they captured detailed scans of the interior layout, power systems, and security measures. Wait, Sophia said suddenly, pointing to Darius's display. Can you zoom in on that signal pattern? Darius adjusted the scan. That's odd. That's a high-security communication protocol. Very expensive. And familiar, Kate added, her expression darkening. That's the same type of encryption used by Traxon Enterprises. The name hung in the air. Traxon Enterprises was the consortium's main competitor, a massive corporation that had been trying to push Zax Clor's company out of several lucrative shipping routes. Are you saying these pirates are working for Traxon? Mikval asked, his voice rising in pitch with shock. Not directly, Kate said, studying the data. There would be layers of deniability. But this equipment didn't get here by accident. Someone with serious money and connections is backing these pirates. The implications were enormous. That's the point, Kate added. Pirates hate unpredictability as much as your people do. Let's move. As confusion spread through the pirate base, the rescue team pushed deeper into enemy territory, now moving quickly rather than stealthily. They were committed now. There was no turning back. 3 weeks after the rescue mission, Zax Clor stood at the viewport in his office, watching ships coming and going from the station. His arm was still healing in a medical sleeve, but the doctor said he would recover completely. The rescue had succeeded, though not without cost. Alan had been seriously injured protecting Vrental from enemy fire. 2 of the alien hostages had suffered minor injuries during the escape. The pirate base had been left in chaos, its systems critically damaged. Most importantly, they had recovered hard evidence of Traxon Enterprises' involvement with the pirates. The data was now in the hands of galactic authorities, who had already frozen Traxon's assets pending a full investigation. A soft chime announced a visitor. Kate entered, looking different in formal business attire instead of her usual tactical gear. "The board is ready for you," she said. Quite a different reception from our first meeting. Zax Clor nodded. They see things differently now. We all do. The main conference room was packed not just with board members, but with representatives from other shipping companies, security firms, and even the Galactic Commerce Council. All had come to hear about the new security initiatives being launched. As Zax Clor took the podium, he saw the human team seated in the front row. Alan was still in a medical chair, but insisted on attending. 3 months ago, Zax Clor began, our company faced a crisis. Pirate attacks were crippling our operations. Traditional security measures had failed. In desperation, we tried something that many called insanity. We hired humans. A murmur ran through the audience. Some still looked uncomfortable at the mention of the Death World species. I was among those who doubted. Zax Clor continued. Humans have a reputation throughout the galaxy as dangerous, unpredictable beings from a harsh world that shaped them into natural warriors. These very traits made them seem unsuitable for our orderly, civilized operations. He paused, looking directly at Kate and her team. What I failed to understand was that these same traits, their adaptability, their persistence, their willingness to confront danger instead of avoiding it, are precisely what made them perfect for the challenge we faced. Zax Clor outlined the new security protocols being implemented across the consortium, many based on human concepts like proactive defense, regular security drills, and cross-training of personnel. But perhaps the most important lesson, he said, is not about security technology or tactics. It's about diversity of thought. Our species evolved to seek harmony and avoid confrontation. This serves us well in many situations, but left us vulnerable to threats from those who don't share our values. The audience was silent, absorbing his words. Humans evolved differently. They come from a world that rewarded those who faced challenges directly, who adapted quickly to changing threats, who worked together to overcome dangers rather than avoid them. By combining our approaches, we create something stronger than either could achieve alone. After the presentation, several companies approached Kate about security consulting contracts. The Galactic Commerce Council invited her to join a new task force on interspecies cooperation. Later that evening, at a small celebration in the humans' quarters, Kate found Zach's Clore looking thoughtful. Having second thoughts about working with dangerous humans, she asked with a smile. No, he replied. I'm thinking about something Nathan said during the rescue, when we were trapped in that corridor with pirates approaching from both sides. What was that? I said we had no options left. Nathan said, there are always options. Humans just see possibilities where others see walls. I didn't understand then. I'm beginning to now. Kate nodded. That's how we survived on Earth. We never accepted limitations. A junior executive approached, looking nervous. It was his first day working with the human security consultants, now being integrated into the company's regular operations. Sir, he whispered to Zach's Clore, glancing at the humans who were loudly celebrating their success. You're really continuing with this human integration program. Are you insane? Zach's Clore watched as Sophia taught some alien staff a human game involving cards and bluffing. Darius was showing others how to modify standard equipment for unexpected uses. Alan, despite his injuries, was telling animated stories that had his listeners both fascinated and horrified.